All right, guys, here we're going to talk about iZombie Season 4, Episode 5. So what did you think about this episode?
Oh, I mean, it was an episode of iZombie, so it had that going like against it.
That's true.
Definitely, yeah. We can certifiably, in our expert opinion, this was in fact an episode of iZombie. But there were parts of this that I thought were like better than usual.
Was it her being a Canadian?
No, sorry.
These
that was
things
worse
annoy
than
me
usual,
because.
Yes.
Again, and now it's become a little bit more acceptable when you are actually being somebody else. The world kind of knows. Could have eaten the brain. Like that becomes a thing.
Oh no, that's it. That's one of my things that like saved it for me. Where the guy's like, I've had whole brain before, obviously, and you were doing everything he did. I'm like, oh my god, thank you.
Yeah.
Because how many people,
but
especially
anybody
now,
else that wasn't a zombie, should be like, what the hell? Are you making fun of our dead friend? like you're saying the words, you're checking people, you're doing things.
You're like, shut up, Sponduli.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Like, why are you acting this way?
Yes, and so like as long as the show is consistent now, I'll be like less hating on it because like she becomes the guy. She becomes dumb. She doesn't like just have his memories and personality. She's like, I don't get it or all that stuff. I'm like, what is happening?
And it's something that they would have had to have leaned into all the time. It's the difference of things.
It seems like this is the new consistent though.
But later on, like the mayor's daughter or whatever, the general's daughter, is speaking French, and she's like, that's
what I mean. This seems like the new way brains work, and they're just pivoting on it. And if it's consistent from this point onward, that's whatever.
Yeah, it could be new writers came in on season 4, and that's the thing they're gonna stay with. But it's as a person who's been here for this is going on the 4th season. It's
remember
like,
what it was
come
like
on,
back
man,
in the
what's
day.
happening here?
Yeah, well, because that would explain how Blaine, why do this to me? Blaine was like taken over by the truth brain, and she's the now French brain, and all this stuff's happening. That would make more sense.
So when the episode started, though, I'm like, did I click the wrong episode?
I had the
because
same thing.
It feels like I'm starting in the middle of something that I had no setup for whatsoever.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, so Donnie and Major are together.
Yep.
Okay, and they're on a mission. All right, and they got like somebody in the trunk.
Road trip.
And they did end I'm thinking the end of this episode. There's no like, how did this start? I don't even know what happened.
No, you're completely on track with with everything you said. That's on my list of like good things. This show never does that. It never gives you like enough credit to like hop into something and like show something. I feel like someone else directed this episode besides
when you
the
do that out
people.
of the blue though, it was jarring.
And I had the exact same thoughts as you, where I'm like, well, the show can't be just trying to do something interesting. I have to have missed something. Did they set this up last time? Maybe I did miss something. I still
paused,
think maybe I missed
looked
something.
at the episode number. I went back to what our last review was, and I'm like, no, I'm on the right episode.
Yeah. And there are shows that do this all the time. If an episode of Game of Thrones just began with 2 people on a carriage
Wouldn't think
somewhere,
twice.
it would be fine. But this show never does that. So I really appreciate that. It was great. And they're on like a road trip with a girl in the trunk. It was like from dusk till dawn. They're like driving around. It was awesome. Had this whole thing. I loved everything about that. I loved their banter. It was like Fargo in the hotel rooms. They're talking, doing the whole thing.
I did not like Donnie's freak out and going full-blown zombie over a bottle of booze. I was like, does this seem like a thing that's like, he's a relatively intelligent man. Like, I won't say he's smart, but he has enough intelligence to not do what he did.
He manages,
as a character, he's duping people. He's doing things like
he manages the scratching post. He has to deal with confrontation like that. Like you saw him dealing with the brain business guy or something like that. So he's not and
his employee tricking him into getting paid less. Like all these things where I'm like, he's not a moron. He might be dumb at times, but this is what an idiot would do.
And they try to explain it like it's called having emotions, Major, or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know.
No.
So you either had to make the situation more extreme to like provoke that, or you had to set something up where he was like off of his shit because he's like, I don't feel comfortable out here, man. I have to get back. Like do something again for free with lines just to smooth that over. It was a little rough, right? It didn't feel.
And they're outside the walls, correct?
They didn't make a big deal out of that, but I feel like that's what happened.
Should that not be a huge thing? Like there are zombies outside the wall. Now you'd think think that honestly, if you just went outside the wall, right, once, like Donnie did, and scare somebody as a full-blown zombie,
they would nuke Seattle immediately.
No, but would that not stop? I think that would stop the whole it's nuking because it's already outside the wall. What are you nuking?
So logically speaking, you might say we have to not nuke it because what's the point anymore? But I think like human beings would say, okay, let's kill the 99% of them and just like reduce the impact of this problem. Because they're seeping out now. We have to destroy the nest.
I guess, or you could think they're all over the country already anyway.
Mr. President eating a brain.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's how the show ends. Is the whole world is taken over by zombies.
And again, eye patch, sword.
Oh, Robbie, you motherfucker! Oh, I'm gonna go live. We gotta go time machines.
We gotta get to Australia.
It's like Terminator. There's time machines. There's all these things. Oh, it's amazing. Can't wait. Season 8.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, but the road trip ends, and that too, they kind of, they like set some things up, and then things all happen, and then at the end they all come together. I know the bar is pretty low, both for me and for iZombie at this point, but I appreciate that. It turned out she was the daughter of the general who wants to nuke Seattle.
That seemed like it was an obvious thing. I was like, who?
Sure.
Like they're kidnapping somebody of power.
Right.
In my head, I was like, president's daughter.
President's daughter. Do you know who my dad is? And you're like,
yeah.
Yes, I do. The only person who was mentioned in this episode. But it's weird because they had to make her a zombie, which was not a part of the plan.
Nah, because she was ODing.
But he acted like it was part of the plan. Or
no, he said it wasn't part of the plan, but had to like jog right or something. He said
no, like Chase, Graves seemed to be totally like, okay, I can deal with this. This is fine.
As long as she's
like, all right, fine.
in your control, it doesn't really matter.
Well, the general might say, well, she's already dead.
I don't think you tell her.
She's one
or
of
tell
like
him.
Okay, so it's like it's going to be a big secret.
I would imagine it's. Because is there contact in and out of like this is the other things that are never really said. Is it like the Berlin Wall? Like, can you talk to people inside?
Are you passing notes? I assume like
they're not cut off from the grid. There's power,
and people have phones, and there's the internet and stuff like that. So I feel like and if she knows her dad and like what he's all about,
she might not want to say she's a zombie anyway because he might kill her.
I guess, or she might be like, as you say, Daddy would never, negotiate with terrorists. I'm a zombie now. Nuke this mother.
And it's possible.
I have no idea.
But I presume she seems like a normal, selfish person that doesn't want to die.
Yeah, she probably wants to go on, no matter what her state is.
And I think you'll see a thing where it'll be the opposite, where she's like, I know my dad. If he knows I'm a zombie, he's gonna nuke this place. You need to dye my hair. You need to blah blah, and like she's gonna act like she's alive.
Do you think that she's gonna be like a new character, like a main character, or that we never see her again?
I think you will see her again.
She's gonna be palling around. She's gonna be like Jessica on True Blood. She's gonna be like annoying Chase Graves,
potentially
and, doing stuff. I like that. That could be good. That could be good.
In French.
In French. Always in French from now on. Perfect segue. Inspector Clouseau has a cameo here.
Who the hell is this guy? And all of a sudden he's a main character?
This just adds to the, confusion of, did I miss an episode?
Yes.
So, one plot thread starts, and I'm like, I may have missed an episode. Maybe the show's just trying to be interesting. Then we switch to, the A plot, and, there's a French guy just...
No, and he's, so fake French and terrible, and I'm like, what is he wearing? I understand, okay, he's French. But why is he also in a different uniform than anybody else?
Yes.
A Frencher uniform.
The Frenchiest of uniforms that we have.
I don't know what are they thinking?
And then he does Cockney, horrible, and I love niggas, taters.
Yeah.
There's a thing at the end.
To make fun of Ravi.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is happening? Is that just what French people can do? I don't think so.
I think all people can do that. You can do a British accent, they can do an American accent.
Well, not very well.
Oh, theirs is always
French
perfect.
Was horrible. Yeah, I was gonna say this guy's also American, and his French was horrible. His French was like, I'm no connoisseur, I'm no gourmet, but so you're gonna become a hockey goon, Liv.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be a goon.
And just loses a tooth and then puts a dead person's tooth in her mouth. I'm like,
why does that work? Oh my God.
Dead people have powers.
If dead people have powers, I would like for them to be defined so that I know what the stakes are when something happens. She's been shot, she's been stabbed, Major's been whatever, right? They make references to they're going to be out of commission for a little while, right? So does that mean that they're healing? Does that mean if I cut off your arm, you can take a dead person's arm and just push it up against the stump and then wait and it will just fix itself?
There was some movie, what was that? Dylan Dog or something, where a guy like does that with another arm, and he's like, what? Because it was like a black arm and he's a white guy.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
I remember that. What is that?
I think it's Dylan Dog.
I don't remember that name.
It was the guy that played the reboot Superman originally, and he's like a paranormal investigator type.
Yeah, that's some dark stuff. They haven't gotten into that, is what I'm saying. So I'm not sure why the tooth would just go in there.
No.
At first I thought it was a chiclet, but it wasn't. That would have been perfect. Okay.
I did like Blaine. Are we not going to address the tooth?
Are we not? I really can't. Okay, so third or fourth, whatever we're on, thing that I liked was Blaine getting interrogated.
Mm-hmm.
It did feel like old times. They haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
Blaine's back.
It's been a minute.
And he said something, I wrote it down, because I liked the way he was like, how many times must I evade and deflect the same question? And he's like bashing his head against the wall, and I was like, oh, this is wonderful, or whatever. And then he blabs that the laundry.
Yeah, accidentally says laundromat. Yeah.
So we should say, I guess, so Liv had a vision that implicates Blaine, but they clarify here, too, that visions are not, admissible. Just
not
in
yet,
case
anyway.
anyone... Yeah, but, like...
They're still relatively new in the legal system.
Sure. It's like a lie
Until
detector,
you get, like,
though.
a zombie, like, Supreme Justice or something, I don't think that anyone would fully understand that, like, this is a legit vision.
Well, even eyewitness testimony has been de-emphasized in, like, the legal system. And lie detectors are out. Like, you can't just take someone's personal... I saw him do it in my head. Like, what? Something like that. They'd probably have to have a system where, like, professionals eat the brain, like 3, 5, some odd number of, like, Supreme Brain Court justices have to all eat the brain. And then if they have corroborating visions, like a Minority Report, they then, like, convict you or something like that.
Shouldn't they always, though? Because it wouldn't be your interpretation of a thing. It would always be that one guy's interpretation.
Well, I'm saying, like, to prove that someone's not just lying because they don't like you and they say that you did
I
it,
gotcha,
right?
I gotcha.
You have third parties who are not involved. You know, several people eat the brain. And they're segregated, and then some investigator interviews all of them with their visions and puts it together and says yes.
All right, we'll set that up for season 5.
Yeah. They'll never do. That's the whole thing. They'll never do that. Any interesting thing that you can think about that might happen on this show is like never going to happen. Okay, but they live in a corrupt police state. And Blaine gets released. The French guy frames some terrorists, some dead-enders, and therefore, the case is solved. Therefore, there's no reason to hold or question Blaine. And he gets...
When she goons that dude and just, like, rips his coat over and starts hitting him, and I was like, and it just ends there. I'm like, you assaulted a police officer or whatever, and there's no issue. In a police station.
He's not even just a police officer. He's one of the people on, like, Chase Graves' like, council, where everyone wears body armor to, like, talk strategy. Like, it's insane.
This is not over.
What?
That's what he's like. This is not over. I'm coming for you.
You will regret this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's awful. No, and like, of course you will. Like, why should she be alive? And then she shows up later at the execution, which is the other part of the thing that's happening.
Yeah. So they actually thaw her out. Originally, Chase was not going to kill her, and he's like, it's an old woman. It's bad for our PR. We can't just be killing old ladies.
Old lady.
How old is she? Not that old, but old enough. And
I liked that. Real quick right here, just to interrupt, as usual, one of the other things that I liked, but they immediately ruin it, was the transition where the camera, like, loops behind Chase Graves' head, and then on, like, the left side of his head is, like, the flashback scene, and on the right side is still the, like, council.
Yeah.
But they do it again, like, 40 seconds later, and it's worse, and, like, it totally, ruined it, but just that one little would have been, like, perfect and awesome.
Yeah. The thawing, so like they thaw her out, and I like something about that was so humorous to me because she has like 2 space heaters on her left and her right, and then these 2 guys are like, and they pull out like hair dryers to aid in the. I'm like, all right, I guess because you can't be crushing a frozen person, they need to look perfect.
You would think though that they would have a system in place. Like a whole bed of heaters or like a chamber.
Who knows if they've ever thought anyone out
put
before.
You in, right? They haven't gotten to that part of the plan yet or whatever. Did you think it was weird that they froze her just to thaw her out? Did that seem like an odd thing in the same episode?
Well, it was a little rushed and dumb, but I'm like, all right, that might not have all been the same 6-hour period like we saw it. Yeah. You'd want them thawed out to crush them because it adds how much more like it weighs on somebody where it's like that's an actual person.
Oh yeah. Like, you obviously have to kill them raw. You can't be right out of the freezer.
You need them to be crying. Like I think practically I would rather smash people frozen because it just seems like it's better.
Just cleaner.
and like it's less, it's more detached, less messy. You're not looking someone in the eye, but obviously you want that for a public death. You want it to look like a person.
Exactly.
I do think there's some flaws in their design here for what kills the people. And did you see how high it bounced after it hit her? I'm like,
oh, it was weird.
I was like, all right, what is her
Is
head
that
made out
normal?
of? Metal?
Yeah.
But she's dead.
It might just bounce anyway if it's on like bearings to make it really like less frictiony or something like that. I don't know what they're going for with that whole thing. The only highlight there is the little like comic book text card, smells like guillotine spirit.
Yeah.
Like that. Other tiny good thing when she's yelling major, but it's too loud and he can't hear.
Or he's ignoring her.
Yeah, but you get the shot where like it's all muted interestingly, and he's in the shot in the foreground and she's in the background and stuff. I was like, wow, we did a whole different setup just just for this.
Like what could Major even do?
No.
Like he turns and shoots them. Like no, he's not.
No, but that's a cool thing where like Major's because like you want to indicate to to your audience that there's a conflict here, right? Where Major's still like a part of the system and he's participating in things even as they escalate and they get worse and it's harder to like defend. Like, hey man, we're just keeping the peace, right?
Yeah.
Especially because why would he be there for all these things? Like him and Chase are tight, so that makes sense, I guess. But everything that happens, he's at the checkpoint, he's at the thing. Like it's just
he's fallen into a leadership role, but that's also weird in that you're the leader, and I also need you on all the grunt things.
Yeah, and you have to train kids, and you have to go on like the separate mission to clean up the mess where you were training the kids. But that's because it's a show. And
it's for the plot.
What we're gonna do, right? So, but like we have to set all that up and really drive it home because this ends with Liv saying, "Rally, Mama Leone's troops."
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
We're gonna take it from here. We're gonna take it from here, Stefan.
So she's gonna be turning more people into zombies.
She's gonna become renegade. They're gonna smuggle people.
I don't know that that's even the like. Is that the way to do it?
There's going to be people in body bags. Robbie's going to have to be like, nope, nothing to see here. It's going to be a whole comedy routine. I can't wait.
It just, it seems like the show just goes so far off the rails for no reason. When I'm like, okay, you have your CSI type thing going on there. That works. Maybe pump in a little more comedy, less CSI bit because you can't pull some of that off. All right, now let's shift gears completely and enter a realm that we're like, oh, we saw that a couple times. Let's see what that does for us.
I feel like they started and they brainstormed like a bunch of ideas for funny brains that she could have to eat, and they're running low on like how many brains there are.
So now they're like, okay, now something without brains involved.
Well, so like by season 3, right? They're like, we need more overarching story. We need like the boyfriend and the thing. I don't know when Wings guy dies. That might be season 2. I forget, but like the Max Rager bit, the intrigue, right? The rocker boyfriend, right? The Blaine arc, the whole. We have to do, we have to pump more of that stuff in there. The major, will they, won't they? All that stuff, or like whatever.
Why not just play up the church angle though more, and not even do this
at all? That didn't happen at all this
episode.
No, I agree.
It's a weird waste because I'm like, okay, so she can't be on Zany Brains and be like the head of a fucking criminal organization because that's not gonna work,
right?
Like she gets hit with one truth brain, and then she's like, I run this whole system where I bring people in and I turn them into zombies.
Yeah, no. So the truth brain might have been like a one-time.
That is a one-off, but I'm saying is
no. I'm setting up a joke,
sure.
Right? But she can obviously control herself no matter what brains she's on. It isn't like she would assault like a high-ranking military councilman dude that would certainly have her killed if this was like a real-world scenario. Anyway, at the end of the day, she's in the pilot's seat. She's just driving different personalities.
Like if she gets a zombie supremacist brain, will she just not turn people that week? Oh, you have cancer, you're gonna die, and just like what?
Guess what? You're scum.
Eh.
No, I know, and I'm like delighted because I can't imagine them handling this well, and or like they just like cop out and don't really do it, or it's just this like disastrous thing. So I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, all right, guys, so we're going to see what happens next. That's our thoughts on this episode of iZombie. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.